It's the e-commerce minute, your daily dose of e-commerce, tech, and retail news with your hosts Bart Mraz and John Suter. The e-commerce minute is a production of Sumo Heavy, a digital commerce consulting firm in Brooklyn, New York, and Philadelphia. Find us on the web at sumoheavy.com. Shipping can be complex. With the uncertainty over costs and deciding which carrier to use, plus tracking your packages, things can get confusing. That's why we recommend SendPro Online from Pitney Bowes. With SendPro Online, it's easy to save time and money no matter what you send, from letters and packages to overnights and flats. SendPro Online lets you easily compare rates from USPS, UPS, and FedEx all in one online tool. And there's no software required. It's all in the cloud. Just use your computer and printer to print shipping labels and stamps. SendPro users also get a free 10-pound scale to help you weigh your packages and accurately calculate the cost of shipping so you'll never overpay. Plus, you can track all your shipments and get email notifications when they've arrived. And remember, folks, postal rates have gone up, but you can now save up to 40% off USPS priority mail shipping and 5 cents off of every letter you send just by using SendPro Online. SendPro Online is only $14.99 a month, and listeners can get a free 30-day trial when you visit pb.com/minute. It's e-commerce minute episode 408.
In today's episode, Apple Retail Chief Angela Ahrendts to depart in April.
Apple recently announced that Senior Vice President of Apple Retail, Angela Ahrendts, will be leaving the company in April. Ahrendts served in the role at Apple for 5 years. Executive Director Deirdre O'Brien will assume Ahrendts' role, with her title expanded to Senior Vice President of People and Retail. Ahrendts came to Apple in 2014 as its head of retail, filling a position that had been vacant for more than a year. Apple tasked her with revamping its stores and improving employee morale, and with making the buying process at its stores feel more like a luxury experience. Prior to Apple, she was CEO of fashion house Burberry from 2006 to 2014. While at Burberry, Ahrendts was credited with turning around the luxury fashion brand and expanding its presence in Asia. So Apple hired her as part of its efforts to strengthen its presence in China. At the time of her hire, Apple had just launched its iPhone 5C, a cheaper smartphone model that was meant to appeal to Chinese buyers. News of Ahrendts' departure comes again as Apple is struggling in China. In a January letter to investors, Tim Cook said a weaker Chinese economy would hurt holiday sales numbers. Apple's most recent quarterly earnings showed a nearly $5 billion drop in revenue in China compared with the previous year. Ahrendts has stated that she's leaving Apple for personal reasons, but there have been rumors that she's leaving to return to the fashion industry. Up until now, Ahrendts was Apple's highest paid employee. When the former CEO of Burberry joined Apple in 2014, she was one of its most high-profile hires and the company's only female senior executive. She was once rumored to be a possible successor to CEO Tim Cook and the highest paid CEO in the UK during her time at Burberry before that. Deirdre O'Brien, Ahrendts' replacement, brings over 3 decades of experience and will assume the management of Apple's 35 online stores and 506 retail stores. In Apple's announcement, Ahrendts says, "I felt there's no better time to pass the baton to Deirdre, one of Apple's strongest executives. I look forward to watching how this amazing team under her leadership will continue to change the world one person and one community at a time," end quote, blah, 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 blah. So that is, I think that's a big departure from Apple. It was a big deal when they got her. I know that.
Yeah, it was a huge deal when they got her. And then I guess she was like, all right, I did what I did.
Yeah, I did what I did. I mean, you can't blame her. They said at one time she was making more money than Tim Cook, so it wasn't about the MONEY. I think Apple, I don't know. There's a lot of smoke signals coming from Apple lately, and I don't know if this signals this departure is a signal, but I think Apple is realizing that they can't be the $1,500 phone company anymore. They have to maybe start discounting a little bit. And somebody like Ahrendts is going, nope. Don't want to do that. Don't want to do that.
Well, I mean, I kind of get it. Like, they are a big, they're one of the most expensive phones. I mean, they are not, but what else are you going to do to this phone, right? And it hasn't really changed in the past few years. The next one, I think the rumor is going to be, the Edge, like the iPad has now, but that's about it. Like, what, you can't really do anything to it.
Yeah, no, it's still a phone, and what is happening is a lot of people, myself included, are holding on to your equipment a lot longer because why? My iPhone 7 Plus works great. The only thing that drives me crazy, no Face ID, and it doesn't have the AR kit stuff, but I love this phone, and I'd see no reason why I should just stop and buy a $1,100 phone.
Right.
And listen, I'm talking from poor, what are so-called problems. I mean, but there's people that are holding on to iPhone 5s and 6s, and now they're being made obsolete just because reasons, like they just don't want to support them anymore. But that's
Right.
a whole other discussion. I think Apple it's interesting with the things that are going on in China and with the economy in China. I think the guidance has been like they're lowering their expectations, and maybe I don't know, maybe she just didn't like the way things were going. It's really hard to say, because when you have these high profile departures, you get we wish you the best, and everything was great and kumbaya, and you won't find out until she writes her book in 5 years.
Yeah, pretty much. Yes, that is.
So I looked up the Deirdre O'Brien. She's been with Apple for 30 years. She's got a big plate to they've given her a big plate because she's a chief the hell is she called? She's got a weird title. It's like chief people person or something like that. And now she's also in charge of all the retail and all the online stores. So she's basically the e-commerce and retail kingpin there. She's got a lot on her plate. So it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. So yeah, as I said, it's not about the money. In 2013, Ahrendts became the highest paid CEO in the UK, taking in $26.3 million. And this was probably her biggest perk. She got an 80% discount on her Burberry purchases. I wonder if she's still.
Fair enough. Speaking of discounts, John.
Let's talk about discounts. Shall I tell you about today's sponsor?
Yes, you should. And tell us about their discount.
And we're going to talk about discounts. All right. So shipping can be complex with the uncertainty over costs, deciding which carrier to use, plus tracking your packages. It's all a whirlwind of confusion. It's a world of confusion. That's why we recommend Send Pro Online from Pitney Bowes. With Send Pro Online, it's easy to save time and money no matter what you send, from letters and packages to overnights and flats. Send Pro Online lets you easily compare rates from USPS, UPS, and FedEx, all in one convenient online tool. No software required. It's all in the cloud. It's all on your computer. You just fire up the browser and get going, and you use your printer to print shipping labels and stamps. Send Pro users also get a free 10-pound scale to help you weigh your packages and accurately calculate the cost of shipping. So you will never, ever, I guarantee this, you will never overpay. Plus, you can track all your shipments and get email notifications when they've arrived. That's a bonus. Postal rates have gone up, but you can still save 40% off USPS priority mail shipping and 5 cents off of every letter you send just by using Send Pro Online. Send Pro Online is just only $14.99 a month, and eCommerce Minute listeners can get a free 30-day trial when you visit pb.com/minute. Bart, do you have anything to add?
That is it, my friends.
All right, that's it for today's show. That's your eCommerce Minute for today. We'll see you on the internet tomorrow. That's it for today's show. If you like the show, do us a favor and subscribe, or leave us a review on iTunes. And don't forget, you can now listen to the eCommerce Minute on your Amazon device. Just add eCommerce Minute to your flash briefing. And finally, if you have a comment or suggestion, or just want to say hi, find us on social media @SumoHeavy.